Welcome to online lectures by CA Studies. For more lectures online, please do visit castudies.lk.
Alright, so now let's look at correlation coefficients or correlation relationships. I mentioned correlation coefficient, but for now let's look at correlation. Correlation, go with the term, it means the relationship between one or more variables. It suggests that a change in one variable affects the performance of another variable. So, why should we find this relationship? Well, we should know whether a particular item has a relationship or not. So, basically, first step would be for us to find the correlation of the two variables. And then if there is a good relationship only, we will go to create lines of best fit and all these scatter plot diagrams, linear regression. We will go for further research only if there is a good correlation between the two variables. If there is a poor relationship, no need to waste time searching for further information to say whether it has a strong relationship, whether it has a relationship or not. No point of wasting our time because we have, this is not the only thing we do. So that's the reason people have created something called correlation to find relationship between one or more variables. Now let's see what are the types of correlations. So types of correlations, there are perfect correlations, partial correlations and no correlation, no relationship at all. So let me show you an example of a perfect relationship. Price and demand. When the price increases, demand decreases probably by the same percentage. In theory, that's how we have learned, right? In economics, in your O levels or A levels, you all must have learned that when the price increases, demand reduces, right? So in that manner, we will get a straight line. This perfect gradient is called representing a perfect correlation. Then partial correlation. Let's take the same example, price and demand. But this time I am going to take a practical scenario. In this practical scenario, you will have the price and the demand. But as I said previously, points will get scattered. How? Because in real life, even though prices increase, demand doesn't decrease by the same rate. It will decrease by different rates. Because of that, you will get a scattered diagram like this. But however, probably it will decrease. So this is called a partial relationship. So this is where we put the line of best fit, but however, this type of relationship comes under partial. Then no correlation is when there is no relationship between the two variables. That type of a situation is shown like this. No relationship. When let's take the example, demand for sugar and price of a book. Do you see a relationship between the two? No, right? Because book's price and sugar demand doesn't it doesn't interlink. So if your price increases, sugar demand may be here itself didn't change. and at this point maybe it's the same. At the price of the book here, the demand may be still the same. So no proper relationship that could be established. Alright, but now the interesting part. Partial and perfect relationships can be categorized into two. Well, I would like to take off these diagrams. These two can fall into two categories called positive and negative. Positive is when the curve moves this side. That means when price increase, demand increases. No, let's take another example, price and supply. When price increases, supply increases because the suppliers gets a high price for their products where they can use to make a profit. That's the reason when price increases, supply increases. But so this is both increase and increase, no? So it is positive. But if it is a price and demand situation where when the price increases, your demand reduces. This situation, the line goes downwards. This is negative. Okay. So remember that particular thing, but what you will understand more when we speak about correlation coefficient. This is the most important thing that is going to relate to this positive and negative story. Then you will understand what I meant perfectly. Now, but this, so a positive relationship is when the price increases, the supply, the other variable increases, and a negative relationship is when the price increases, so when one variable increases, the other variable decreases. There is something called correlation coefficient represented by the letter R. Now, this is actually the relationship factor. Okay, it's the relationship factor. Now, how we should say this is that if this can have a value. Okay, the value is within a range of -1 to +1. And it can have three types of values. Remember very, very well. First one, +1. Second, -1. Third, 0. +1 means perfectly. Next keyword, positively correlated. Perfectly, positively correlated. Linking +1 to this scenario where the relationship is +1. -1 is -1 here for a negative relationship where it is called perfectly negative. Perfectly negatively correlated. And this applies to no correlation, no any relationship at all, no correlation. So you see how these get interlinked to these relationship types. So plus 1, if you, so there's a way to calculate R, the correlation coefficient, and then get your, what do you call, value, and you have, what you have to do then is assess whether it is a positive correlation or negative correlation, or if it has no correlation. That is what you should do in the exam. Alright. Okay, so and this is how the diagrams get linked. Okay, now let's see how to calculate R, the correlation coefficient. In your book, they have provided the formula for R, which is n multiplied by sigma xy multiplied by minus sigma x into sigma y divided by n into sigma x squared minus sigma x squared, and entire thing multiplied by n into sigma y squared minus sigma y squared. Let's apply the previous example that we discussed to this formula to check the value of R and comment on it. Now, previous example, we had the values for the example on output and costs. We had the values for sigma x, sigma y, sigma x squared, sigma y squared, and sigma xy. Let's establish them. Sigma x was 100, y was 400, xy was 8104, x squared 2040, y squared 32,278. I didn't try to do another example that was already given in the book because it's the same method to follow as we did in the previous example. In the book, they have clearly given the table format to be used. It's the same thing, but a small thing changes. That change I will explain and show how to do. Okay, yeah. So we have all of this. So let's check what is missing. So sigma x is done, y is done, xy is done, n we know that is 5, n is 5, n is the number of data given. Okay. So we have 5 types of data given to us. X squared is fine, sigma x is again fine, y squared is fine, sigma y squared is fine. Okay, sigma y squared, okay, it's all good. Remember this, we will revisit. Now let's first calculate what is R. R equals, now n is 5, 5 multiplied by sigma xy is 8104 minus sigma x which is 100 multiplied by sigma y which is 400. Divide the entire thing by sigma n into sigma x squared 2040 minus sigma x squared, that means 100 squared. Okay, and that entire thing multiplied by 5 into sigma y squared is 32,278 minus sigma y squared is 400 squared. Let us recheck. Find R. 40,520 minus 40,000 is 520 divided by 200 into 1390, 278,000. I am sure this is going to be very low decimal. Okay, we got a decimal that is very far from 1, okay, and close to 0, obviously. So this R is very close to 0, but so 0. What's the answer? 0.00187. That's close to 0 and far from 1. It is more towards no correlation. Okay, so the conclusion we could give for this R is that there is no correlation because it is close to 0. But it's not 0. But so you could also argue that it is positively correlated. Of course, positive no, not a negative no, not a minus sign. So positively correlated, but low correlation. So this type 0.00187 is so close to 0, so we could say it's a no correlation. But also we could also say positively correlated, but with a very low, actually not even low, very low correlation. Poor relationship basically, poor positive relationship. We can justify this relationship is poor by looking at the data that they have given to us. If you see at output 20, the cost is 82. That's fine. But in output 16, the cost is 70. A big gap. For a change reduction by 4 units, there is a reduction in cost by 12,000. And when the output increased again to 24, another increase by 8 units, the cost increased by 20,000. So it's very unbalanced. That's the reason there's a poor relationship. So it's but kind of positive because when the output reduced, the cost reduced. If you look at 20 to 16, it reduced, and then the cost also reduced 82 to 70. And it increased likewise. So this shows that it could be positively correlated. So because it's moving on both are moving in the same direction. However, it also could be called no correlation because it's so close to 0. Fine. So actually with that, so let me tell you some interpretations. If just imagine, only imagine that we got R is equal to 0.7, then what is it? It is close to 0 or close to 1? Close to which one? 0 or 1? Think properly, think about the number line. So we have our number line 0, we have 1, and 0.7 is somewhere here. As you could see in the number line, 0.7 is close to 1, not to 0. So we call it positively correlated. We don't say the word here. Remember, we never say the word perfect. Why is it? because R is not equal to 1 in this situation. If R is equal to 1, then we can say it is perfectly positively correlated. So in the exam they might trick you, they might give two words, two options, perfect positive and just positive. You must be sure if it is only equal to 1, you choose perfectly positively correlated. If it is not equal to 1 but near 1, then you choose positively correlated. If it is near 0, then you say very poor positive correlation or no correlation. Likewise, if R equals minus 0.7, then that means this side of the number line. This side below 0 is minus figures now, if you take the number line. So it's around here, minus 0.7. It is still close to the negative correlation. So you will say negatively correlated. You will only use the word perfect if R equals to minus 1. So then only you can say it is perfectly negatively correlated. Alright? So I hope you all understood that point. Now let's see what is coefficient of determination. Now we know our correlation coefficient is R. This is you remember the word terms, this is correlation coefficient. What is coefficient of determination is R squared. Coefficient of determination. Why it is called determination? Because the decision that we could make using correlation coefficient is only that whether it is having a correlation, whether it is positively correlated or whether it is negatively correlated. That type of relationship decisions only we can make when it comes to correlation coefficient. But when it comes to coefficient of determination, we can make decisions like this. It is the square of R. Let's take an example that R equals 0.993. Okay. So this comment would be just as it is, we could say it is positively correlated because it's not 1 but positively correlated. However, if we take the coefficient of determination, it will be 0.993 squared equal to 0.986. If you convert this into a percentage, you will get 98.6%. Now, let's assume this R establishes, this example is talking about the relationship between sales and marketing expense. Okay. So, if our marketing expense increases, then R will tell that your sales also will increase. That decision we can confirm by looking at R. But by using coefficient determination, we can say 98.6%, this percentage of the dependent variable.
Dependent variable. What is the dependent variable? Sales.
because sales is depending on marketing. Dependent variable sales, 98.6% of the dependent variable sales is variable to marketing expenses. Then if, okay, marketing expenses. So if this is 98.6%, to make it 100%, what is the balance? 98.6 minus 100, balance 1.4 percentage. So they are saying 98.6 percentage of sales can be explained with marketing expenses, whereas 1.4% of sales can be explained by other factors that we don't know. So because the maximum relationship should be equal to 1 or to 100%. So if it is not equal to 100%, then the balance is representing other factors that affect the sales. Whereas in this case, 98.6% is affected by the counter variable, by the independent variable, which is marketing expenses, and what is being affected is the dependent variable sales. This is the sort of explanation examiner expects by calculating coefficient of determination. It's easy, okay, just to take the square of it. So basically you will have to, generally in the exam they will ask whether this, they will give the correlation coefficient. I told you previously also, they will ask whether it's a high or low correlation, high or low. How do you decide whether it is high or low? Is low -1 and high +1? Is that the way you all decide, or is there any other way? How to decide whether a correlation or a relationship is high or low? You decide it not by +1 high and low, -1 low. If your coefficient is close to +1, if your coefficient is close to -1, then it's a high correlation. Okay. But it becomes a low correlation when they are far from -1 and far from +1, and basically we don't say low, we say no correlation for 0. For things like r equals 0. So you see the relationship, how you supposed to say whether something is a high correlation and something is a low correlation. It is not by minus or plus sign, no. It is by how close it is to the minus or the plus sign. How close or how far it is from the minus or plus sign. That only says whether you have a strong relationship or a poor relationship, a high relationship or a low relationship. Well, with that we finish correlations, and one thing that examiner has talked about is correlation and causation, the final bit of your chapter. There they say that correlation can happen because of chance or because of a logical reason. It could happen because of chance, say for example sales of ice cream and the sales of sunglasses. Those two may be having a positive correlation is where R equals to +1 and they are near +1. That means what's the meaning? There's a high relationship. But sunglasses and ice cream, what could be the relationship? Well, it is the weather condition that decides their sales, because during summer season only ice cream demand and sunglass demand increases because people need them, and therefore there's an indirect relationship creating a strong correlation between ice cream and sunglasses and not a direct relationship. So there's a small like a kind of a unsuitability between correlation and chance. I said correlation can happen due to chance, but is it really a correlation? No, right? Because it's not a direct relationship. It is an indirect relationship. So indirect relationships cannot be justified through the letter R here, the coefficient correlation, because this represents direct relationships. But indirect relationships aren't measured here, because a person would decide, okay, if sunglasses and ice creams are going together, I will do those two businesses. But what happens during winter season? Both of the sales will come down. But he thought, no, because ice cream sales increase only, sunglass sales are increasing. That is what my correlation coefficient told me. And that is why I am going to start the business in both areas. But actual reason is not sunglass creating sales for ice cream or ice cream sales creating sales for sunglass. It is the weather condition that is creating sales for both sunglasses and ice cream. Right? So such indirect relationships are not properly presented via coefficient correlations. Okay? So with that we finish this chapter 11, regression analysis. Work out on the revision kit questions. We will be going through a few as we progress towards the end of the syllabus. But whatever discussed in this chapter during this lesson is the same in the revision kit. So same thing only they've expected. Hence give it a try, and especially try question number 30 where it's a bit tricky. If you are able to do that without any effort, then I believe you have got a better understanding of the chapters learned so far. Okay, so let's meet at the next video.
Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned with castudies.lk for more lectures online.